use kettlebells quite a lot in our own training and when we train our clients. And as Cormac said, we do classes throughout the week out of our studio in Dean's Grange. You're probably wondering, what's a kettlebell? What are these guys talking about? It's these little cast iron balls here. Okay, so we're going to give you a run through of a few exercises you can do with them very shortly. Cormac will be demonstrating them and I'll be instructing. So we'll get to that now in a few minutes.
Now before we get to that, we're going to touch on two key elements essential in body transformation. Now that is the importance of healthy eating and the importance of training. Now healthy eating is probably the most important factor regarding how we look and feel. Now we all know the saying, you are what you eat, and that couldn't be more true. Now we don't have a lot of time, we're not going to give a huge in-depth conversation about nutrition. We're just going to give you a few golden rules that you'd always remember in order to stay healthy, in order to stay in shape.
Okay, so just going to touch on a few main points. Firstly, it's not a good idea to starve yourself. We all know not to eat junk food, but we tend to forget that our bodies do require a certain amount of nutrients in which to develop. When you deprive your body of these nutrients, let's say starvation, fad or a crash diet, while on the scales it may look like you're losing weight, what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of this weight is fluid and a lot is muscle. Now muscle is very important. We need that to burn body fat. It's a large part of our metabolism. So when you go on one of these diets and you lose that muscle, it is very likely that you're going to put it back on all that weight, plus, in most cases, a good deal extra.
Very true, Patrick. Now in order to give you a bump to your metabolism, which is the rate at which our body burns off the food we eat, you should try eating small, regular meals throughout the day.
Gentlemen, the actress Leon will now be appearing on the gosh stand.
Just keep on going, right? Rather than 3 square meals that us Irish eat, you should try eating small, regular meals throughout the day. This gives a kickstart to our metabolism, as our body is continually working to break down the food we eat, which speeds up our metabolism, which then aids us in losing fat. So always try to eat regularly throughout the day, smaller meals, not the big 3 square meals as Irish are used to.
Okay, so we all know about the junk food. We all know we've got to cut out the saturated fats in foods like burgers, chips, most junk food, fried foods especially. Also, you want to minimize your intake of carbohydrates, especially in the evenings, because carbohydrates are that fast-acting energy source that more than likely your body won't need, especially when you're lounging around on the couch in the evening. So your body's actually likely to store that as body fat. So you want to cut that down about after 6 o'clock. But if you do go to the gym and you are training, you can eat carbs in and around that time. So try and replace the saturated fat foods, carb-rich foods with protein-rich foods like eggs, lean meats and poultry as well. Again, remember, not all fats are bad, and you actually need unsaturated fats to metabolize your body's own fat stores. Okay, so that's things like oily fish, nuts, seeds. All these things are very important for you to take in. If you starve yourself and you don't get them in, you're going to find it very, very hard for you to burn your own body fat while you're exercising.
Now, preparing food, if you work in the office or you're constantly on the go, is a great means of recording and keeping track of what you eat. And also you're in total control of what you eat, so you can be more healthy. A chicken fillet roll with a bag of potato and mayonnaise and cheese and a Diet Coke is not a healthy meal. And by going to these convenience stores like Spar or on their own, you're giving yourself less choice. So I'd recommend in the morning time or before you go to sleep, make up a few meals and you'll find you can eat a lot more healthily because you're giving yourself so much less choice when you're going to all these convenience stores.
That's right. Now, we're not saying that you have to eat, grass for the rest of your life. You can eat things you want, you can eat the bad foods that you enjoy. You just have to do it all in moderation. So try to aim to eat well about 95% of the time, and your physique will reflect that. Now, another way of burning body fat is to tap into it directly, and that's by burning calories through cardiovascular training. So people who train on a regular basis, not only are they burning excess calories, but they're also raising their metabolism. And that's the amount of calories that they burn in a day while at rest. Okay? So a great way to do that is through kettlebell training, which our demonstration is going to be on right now. Okay? So Cormac's just going to get ready. Okay, and I'll be instructing them through this thing. I'll just give you a brief history of where kettlebells came from. Okay? So kettlebells, here we go. Kettlebells originated in Russia about 300 years ago. They actually started off as being a counterbalance for weighing grain for farmers. And then some mad Russian farmer came along, picked them up and started swinging them around as resistance training. So quite quickly they learned that kettlebell training can build muscle while also burning calories. So since then, military, Russian, American military, law enforcement agencies all over the world, and even celebrities are kind of getting on the bandwagon. So celebrities like Penelope Cruz, Salma Hayek, Bruce Lee, Sylvester Stallone, and Matthew McConaughey have all, owned up to using kettlebells. Okay, we know what good shape Matthew McConaughey's in. Okay, so we're going to start off by doing a little bit of strength training. Okay, I know it's mostly women in the audience, and you're mostly going to be concerned about burning body fat. Okay, so women generally aren't really that concerned about building muscle. Okay, so just for the guys out there, we're just going to touch on a few things to actually build strength, muscle, and size. Okay? So every movement that you do in kettlebells will build endurance, will increase flexibility, and raise your metabolism a significant amount. Okay, so for instance, we'll start off with the kettlebell swing. Okay, so single-handed kettlebell swing, just one. Okay, so kettlebell swing would be sort of the bread and butter movement of kettlebell training. You see that Cormac's hips are coming back, and he's pushing forward, and all his power are coming from the hips. Now, it may look like he's using his shoulders, but he's not. Okay, so it's kind of a pelvic thrust movement that he's doing. And you can see that he's sitting back, his knees aren't coming forward past his toes. Now, what's happening here is, he's developing power through his calves, up through his quads, up through his hips, and because his fixed weight is being held in his upper body, all that is going through the core. So you might not look it, but he's actually using a vast amount of muscles doing this exercise. How are you feeling there, Cormac? How's the heart rate going there?
Not too bad.
Okay, right, so go for another 10.
Okay, for 10?
Yeah. Keep going. Or 20, I don't know. Somebody shout out a number there, we'll get them going. There you go, 50.
50 can we have all day, do we?
We don't want to seem keel over, right, so we'll take it easy, right? So this is actually cardiovascular movement, but the heavier you do a weight, the less reps that you do is going to be building strength. So 16 kilos, it's quite a heavy weight. So you wouldn't generally do that for women. Now, kettlebells can be used by just about anyone. The only thing that's really going to change is the weight, which is the intensity, or the volume, which is how often you're doing, how many reps that you actually do. So for instance, another exercise we'll do, we're going to show you a squat. So this isn't actually a cardiovascular movement, this is strength building. So this is strengthening the lower body. So the quads, the glutes, ass, and the calves. Okay? And again, because the weight is being fixed in his upper body, it's all going through the core. Now you can see that Cormac's biceps are actually quite tense at the moment by the way he's holding the kettlebell. He's holding it out and he's holding it statically. So his biceps are trying to fight just dropping the kettlebell down. So his biceps have to hold it up. Okay, and we'll go for another 10 again.
10 again.
10 again, yeah. You gotta make them work. It's 3. Okay, and you can see he's sitting back. So at the low phase of a squat, you're going to be working the glutes. Okay, and that's toned glutes is something that everyone wants, especially women, yeah? A few nods. How many is that?
That's 8.
9. And 10. Okay, so we're going to try and get through strength pretty quick. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to give you a double clean and press.
Double clean and press? No problem.
Now in terms of strength, this is also developing power, which is great for people who want to